Hey guys, happy spring break. We're doing Stay Away by Nirvana today from the Nevermind album. Sometimes I want to sing this when all my kids' friends are trying to get at my house. Stay away! Anyway, here we go. Stay away! Anyway, so forth. That's the opening riff, and you do that for most of the song, a couple of other things that we'll get to. But let's start. We're in standard tuning here. Okay. A lot of you have been asking me to do some other songs besides just the popular ones off the Nevermind album. I will get to those, all the songs off Bleach and all the B-side stuff, lots of good stuff that they did that I will get to. Plenty of songs to go through, so just give me a chance to get through these first. We are in standard tuning. If you listen to a live performance of Nirvana, I haven't heard a live performance where they weren't tuned down to E flat. So they're usually at E flat, A flat, D flat, and so forth. On the album, though, on Nevermind at least, they're in standard tuning for most of the songs. All right, so lucky for you. Here we go. And me, not all of us are rich enough to just have guitars sitting around in different tunings, right? So we're going to start. Now, this is power chord stuff, right? In grunge, you got to play power chords all the time. And typically, we do it this way with our root and then the fifth and then the octave with the pinky like that. But if you watch Kurt, he does this. Now, I've kind of really, since doing these songs, gotten used to playing the power chords this way, where I just flatten this finger out and get the other two strings this way, because when you're on the A string, if you flatten this finger out enough, you can get that fourth note, which he does sometimes, and that makes it a major chord, okay? Instead of just being root, fifth, and octave, you get the third of the chord in there. And sometimes he'll put that in there when he's playing on those A power chords where the root is on the A string. So I've kind of gotten used to doing it this way, and it's kind of, I like it, instead of just doing this way all the time. All right, so we're going to start out, as with many grunge riffs, there are 4 chords that we repeat over and over again. So we start with, on the A string, on the 5th fret, we put our pointer finger there. Now remember, when you do a power chord on the A string, this finger has 3 jobs. Number 1 is to do the root note. Second job is to mute with the tip of the finger, the low E, so that it doesn't make a sound. And the other job is to hook a little bit and to mute the top string so that you don't get those. So that all you get are the 3 strings that you want. So you can strum the whole guitar and only get those 3. Okay? That's called playing cleanly. A lot of playing well on guitar is playing cleanly, keeping out those strings you don't want. I'm going to do it this way to start with. We'll work on the strumming pattern second. Let's get the chords first. So that's a D power chord there. And then we're going to slide down to 2. Now those of you who are new to guitar, make sure you keep your hand locked in that position. If you're doing it this way, you'll see where I can move anywhere and I keep it that same distance. Because a lot of beginner guitar players will do this and then just totally reset. Okay, don't do that. Try to keep it locked in that position. So the next one's on 2. So it's 2, 4, 4. Okay, we'll get the strumming in a minute. So 5, 2, and then we're going to go to 1 on the low E. Now here's where the flattening out doesn't work unless you want a suspended 4 chord. If you want, I mean, you can flatten out for the power chord part, but if you're trying to get a 3rd note in there, it doesn't really work. You get a suspended chord, a sus4. Sometimes you want that, so you know it'll work. But 1, 3, 3. Okay, so there's the 1, 3, 3. So we have 5 on the A, and then 2 on the A, and then 1 on the E string. That's an F power chord, by the way. And then it's good to know the letter names just enough so that you know what you're talking about. Somebody says, "Oh, give me a C." You know, "Oh, what fret is that?" Okay, so that's an F. And this one, last one's going to be a C. If you go the first dot, 3rd fret, it's a C power chord. Okay, and so it's going to be 3, 5, 5. And then you just start over. You do it all again. So the first one's a D. And then this one's a B, this one's an F, this one's a C. All right, so get used to that left hand first. With my guitar players, when we're with my guitar students, when I'm doing lessons with them, I'll have them get that left hand first. Get that, just so you can go from one to the next. Easy first. Slide, slide. Stay loose. Make sure you're not doing this. A lot of people want to do that. Okay? Keep that wrist down. Okay? Alright, now here's the strumming pattern. It's down, up, chuck. So it's okay? Down, up, chuck. Then when I slide down, I'm going to go up, down, up, chuck. Okay, so here we go. Down, up, chuck. You know what a chuck is? It's when you just lift your fingers and you're just lightly touching the strings and you get a percussive rhythmic sound. Not a note, not a pitch. Just a sound. Down, up, chuck, up, down, up, chuck. And of course when you're chucking, you're moving to that next power chord. Down, up, chuck, up, down, up, chuck. And then up, down, up, chuck. Up, down. Now he does something like this. I hear it on the album version. He goes da 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 da. Da 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 da. You hear that? Okay. So I'm going to show you that too, but just reminded me of that. So on this one, up, down, up, chuck. Then you start over. So let's get that first, and then I'll show you the da 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 da. Okay, so we have down, up, chuck, up, down, up, chuck, up, down, up, chuck, up, down, up, chuck. Okay, so it kind of sounds cool to get that third in the chord on that one and also on the C one. It's just fun to play. All right, now let's do this part. If you want to do this, da 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 da. All right, so we're gonna go up, down on the 3, up, down, and then lift. So just lift your hand, lift your fingers off, and you'll try to get mostly that A string open. Get a couple of others if you want. And then 3, 4, and then we're back here. So it's starting on 3, up, down, open, 3, 4, 5. See, da 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 da. 3, 4, 5. All right, so you got to slide. Da da da. Just practice that slide. There we go. So we have in slow motion, down, up, chuck, up, down, up, chuck, up, down, up, chuck. All right. All right, now let's get to the next part. In part 2, we'll tackle the other sections of the song.